I just want to say we're proud of you, and yes, we're proud of the women's and men's hockey teams. I know we fell a little short, but you know they played their hearts out, and as we say, we'll get them next time. But I just saw another example of how the entire country came together to watch the game, and just shows unity. And then we're going to take the same approach, which we have been, when it comes to the CUSMA, USMCA deal, and we're going to continue working hard by diversifying what we have here right around the world. You know, it was a positive message from the Supreme Court last week, and I think it was positive when we saw the vote in Congress. Now they're going to the Senate as well. It's all hands on deck. When I talk to our fellow premiers, we're all encouraging each other, go down, and no matter if it's on the phone, if it's in person, get down there, start speaking to senators, congresspeople, governors. Governors play a big role, I've been told many times, through the administration in the U.S. that they have a loud voice. Now, when the midterms come up, you know, there's going to be, I think, 33 seats in the Congress that are up for grabs. 20 of them are going to be Republican, a lot in Michigan. And as for the Supreme Court ruling, fortunate that we aren't affected as of right now. But things change on a daily basis, as everyone knows. President Trump could wake up and, you know, a couple options. We move forward and we get a deal, or he might blow up the CUSMA deal. But we have to have plans for everything. And, you know, I always say, and I've said this to the federal government, hope is not a strategy. A strategy is getting out there, making sure that we focus on our key areas of our economy, no matter right now if it's building out nuclear, cutting regulatory conditions that could take up to, you know, 18 years. We can't wait 18 years. We have to start looking at the red tape and regulations to cut those. We have to continue investing into companies by lowering taxes, making ourselves more competitive around the world, and especially with our friends south of the border. So we're all hands on deck. We're focusing on obviously nuclear, manufacturing, healthcare, skilled trades, along with the Ring of Fire. We have the largest conference in the world coming to Toronto at the beginning of March, and I encourage everyone, if you've never been to a mining conference, it's I'll tell you, it's spectacular. And I always say when I walk in that room every year, or the convention center, my jaw drops. Just seeing the whole world coming to Toronto and looking at all our critical minerals here in Ontario that will lead the world. We're going to get shovels in the ground. I was getting pictures of excavators up in Webequie this weekend and backhoes, so they're ready to start building the road in the spring as quickly as possible. And we're going to continue investing into our infrastructure here in Ontario, the likes of which this province has never seen. It's up to $223 billion. We're upfronting as much as we can when it comes to building highways and roads and bridges and infrastructure on with the healthcare, on transit as well. So we'll keep investing because that keeps people moving, keeps jobs active. So that's our plan. We're doing everything we can to make sure that we protect the people of Ontario, protect their jobs, and protect their communities.
In your statement on Friday, twice you said you'll be willing to do whatever it takes to battle against the tariffs that remain in place. How does that differ from your approach to this?
Well, I don't think it differs. I think we got to create the environment and conditions for companies to come here. I just had a meeting with my Minister of Economic Development, Vic Fedeli. He's been traveling around the world. I give him all the credit in the world. I don't know how he does it. One day he's in Asia, next day he's in India. But he said the investments are still coming. They're still strong. And it all comes down to creating that condition, making sure we don't raise taxes. We have to lower taxes, which we have by $12 billion each and every single year. But our selling feature are our people. We have the most educated sector or group of people anywhere in the G7, and we have the brightest people anywhere. We have the ingenuity. We could be so self-sufficient and the wealthiest and the richest country in the entire world, but we have to create those conditions. We have to continue working with our federal counterparts and along with even our municipal counterparts. Get government out of the way, cut the red tape, cut regulations, make it easy for companies to come here and invest, because it's a competitive market we're in, not just against the U.S., but around the world.
It doesn't seem like that things change so much from Ontario in terms of fares.
You're right.
That's like the last hope, or do you have any different strategy?
Yeah, but you're 100% bang on that. You know, the Supreme Court, it hasn't changed, thankfully. Anything here in Ontario or in Canada, we're still keeping an eye on Section 232, but make no mistake about it, President Trump still has a lot of tools, but I think it's the walls are closing in on President Trump. No matter if you saw him lose the vote and 6 Republicans cross the floor with Congress, then you saw the Supreme Court decision. We'll see how the Senate decision comes up. But I'm going to be on the phone full steam, and later on, I think in a month or so, I'm going to do a U.S. trip with the other governors. Governors are meeting, I believe, in Salt Lake City. Another group of governors, southeastern governors, along with other premiers, will be attending Salt Lake City, but I think that's closer to June. And then there's another meeting with the governors and premiers in South Carolina that will be down representing Ontario, along with other premiers and governors, and then as well as down in Texas as well.
Premier, do you think that Canada has to be prepared to walk away from the CUSMA deal altogether if it wants to have any leverage in these talks?
Well, I always say, you know, no deal is better than a bad deal. But I think it's in the best interest of the American people. You're seeing inflation down there because prices are going up just because of these tariffs. And I've always said a tariff on Canada is a tax on the U.S. And I'm going to be spreading that message. Make no mistake about it. My media here is #1, but I have to get that message. I'll be going on with Wolf Blitzer on CNN. I think within the next hour, getting that message out there through CNN and other media outlets. People are listening. Down in the U.S., people are feeling the crunch. They don't see the prices going down with food and other goods. And that all has to come down to, you know, the uncertainty that he's put around the world, but he's put against his #1 customer in the world. I always remind him that 9 million Americans wake up every single day to build a product, a widget, or a service for Ontario alone, and they're going to feel the crunch.
Premier, in terms of
the public service workers who are back in the
Yes.
we got FOI letters from Treasury Board saying that it was never about productivity. Day one group said that it was. Do you still believe that efficiency is?
I believe it's all about productivity, being here, looking at someone face to face. You know, maybe I'm from old school, but everyone's sitting there texting and going back and forth. I like looking at someone in the eyes and having that conversation, that broader conversation. So first of all, I want to say I appreciate the Ontario Public Service, and it's all hands on deck with them. It's faster, quicker, immediate on every decision we make. We can't dilly-dally along anymore. When we make a decision to build X, Y, or Z, then we need to make sure we do it as quickly as possible. We're in an economic war right now, and we can't be lying back. It's not business as usual here. It's not running on government time. It's running on private sector time to make sure that we're competitive and we get our goods to market as quickly as possible.
in terms of trade strategy, a bunch of countries that rushed to make deals with Trump to get the best deal they could in terms of his tariffs
It was a mistake.
ended up getting screwed because
Did
now
they
these
ever?
tariffs have been struck down, but they've agreed to certain things with the United States, so they're still on the hook
Yeah.
for that. Do you think this means that Canada should not be in a rush to negotiate?
Well,
Because it will be very likely weakened by midterms and whatnot?
Yeah, I believe in not rushing this deal. You know, no deal's better than a bad deal. Two examples. He said, you know, countries getting screwed. Japan's a good example. UK is another good example. They all rushed in to get a deal, and all of a sudden he turned on them like a rattlesnake. So we're going to be very cautious, and that's a message to the federal government. Let's make sure we have a proper deal. Let's focus on sectors as well. So let's see, again, President Trump could come back and say, we're doing a bilateral deal, or he could say we're blowing up the deal, or he could say we're extending USMCA with some irritants that they have. Well, I've mentioned the federal government. Let's start putting our irritants. They say they have 27 irritants. Well, I'm sure I could come up with a few irritants ourselves. So it's very challenging right now. I just sit back some days, and I'm not the only one. Everyone in the world sits back, and how can one person, one man, create so much turmoil around the world? Not just here in Canada, around the world. It's pretty staggering. So I can't wait for the midterms.
Premier, we've heard from a lot of students in recent days about OSAP. They've taken aim at your charge that their family is making $250 grand. They said they wouldn't even qualify if that was the case. They say they're not taking basket weaving courses, but they are worried about affording their post-secondary schooling under these changes. Have you heard from them, and are you going to change your mind on this?
Yeah, no, I've heard from a lot of students messaging me, and I appreciate their messages. Some are pretty nasty, but some are very professional, and this comes down to, we've invested a record amount in the country, in the province, never been invested to a tune of $7 billion. I'm going to repeat that number, $7 billion each and every single year moving forward. We're investing into our colleges and universities, but when you take a course, you have to look at in-demand jobs, something that we can drive our economy. And it's not a God-given right to take taxpayers' money. It's a God-given right to get your college degree in university, but you can't come back to the taxpayers and say, yes, I got a lot of baskets, by the way, message to me, but people thought I was joking. There's actually a basket weaving course at Carleton. And when I tell people that, and I talk to a lot of people, they said, no, we aren't in favor of funding that. People want to see a return on their investment. Focus on in-demand jobs because we need you. You're the next generation. And yes, you have the right. God bless you. You want to pick any course, go for it. But don't come out, 3 or 4 years later and say, well, I don't have a job. Well, it's very simple. You didn't focus on, key economic growth areas.
Premier, sorry, just to follow up, what is in demand when you have these...
In demand, I'll tell you what's in demand off the top of our head. Trades are one of them. Healthcare is another. Engineering is another. Nuclear, critical minerals, just to name a few. Manufacturing. And it's funny, when I get these messages, I look through it and I'm thinking, I'd hire this one, I wouldn't hire this one. Hire this one, wouldn't hire that one. It's very, very simple. Folks, you can go to school, and I'm the biggest proponent of go out and get an education. Get a college degree, get a university degree, get a skilled trades degree, and go out there. It's the lightest luggage you're ever going to carry. Is making sure you get
wipe out half of all office
It's
jobs.
expensive to take in school, and this is already deterring students from pursuing higher.
Well, let's look at where we're at in the country, right? We're middle of the pack. We're more generous than BC. We're more generous than Alberta. We're more generous than Saskatchewan, because you have to look at across the country. We're middle of the pack right now. We're investing a tremendous amount into the colleges and universities. Again, $7 billion. It's not like we're cutting investments in colleges. We're doing the total opposite. We're investing more money to make sure we stabilize the sector. And I just encourage every single student, make sure you look at core economic priorities of the country, core economic priorities of the province. You are taking tax dollars and you have to be held accountable when you take tax dollars. It's not a freebie anymore. Money doesn't grow on trees. So we're still going to take care of the most vulnerable. And it's not just us. Let's look at the federal government on the international students. That threw a hand grenade in the whole system. That was a disaster as far as I'm concerned. And then you have to look at the colleges and universities. They have many grants. They have many scholarships available since we've given them more money. And yes, the feds still have some opportunities to get funding. We have opportunities to get funding. So I just encourage everyone, go to college, go to university, skilled trades, and maybe some kids aren't cut out for it. Go out there and find gainful employment. There's still gainful employment out there in certain sectors. I hear it every day from employers.
Premier, a lot of your policies are driven by affordability. You've made it a big part of your brand. But the changes to OSAP mean that students now are going to be graduating saddled with tens of thousands more dollars in debt than under the previous system. So how do you square that with your mantra?
Well, what I would do, you got to look at it as an investment in their education, which we're investing in our education. We're still subsidizing colleges by $7 billion. But you got to go out there, and if you get an in-demand job, keep in mind you won't have to pay back the loan for 4 years, and then 6 months after you don't have to pay it back. But get a job, get an education that you can get a job. If you get an education that there's no jobs out there, this is a no-brainer. So focus on that, and you'll be able to pay back any loans. Folks, let's keep in mind, we still have one of the lowest education costs anywhere in North America, anywhere. And we're comparable, and again, the middle of the pack of all the other provinces. We're equal to Manitoba. So
Last question.
yeah, no, I'm going to continue sitting down with my minister and seeing any way we can to help the students. I appreciate the students, and again, they're going to be our future. So I want them to be focused on key economic drivers. It's pretty common sense that if you want to get a job when you get out of college or university, focus on where you see in-demand jobs. That's what we need to focus on. Another question?
Last one.
Premier Smith's referendum on immigration, what do you make of that? Critics say it's scapegoating to this. What do you make of her going to voters on this issue?
Well, Premier Smith, I talked to her over the weekend, but that's going to be her decision. I'm focused on Ontario right now. I've always said, and I've never changed my mind, when it comes to immigration, we need skilled immigration. We need economic immigration. So if you have a skilled skill, please come to Ontario. We need more skilled workers. We need smart economic drivers as well. And I've mentioned to the Prime Minister, and all the premiers agree, you bring people over, you get them trained up for 2 years, and companies rely on them, and all of a sudden you get them and you ship them off. Well, that's not good for the economy. It's not good for our GDP. So my number one priority is making sure people here in Ontario get employed.
Our colleagues in Ottawa are wondering if you've been in touch with federal officials about what's happening in Mexico, or any Ontarians stranded in Mexico that you have heard of or reached out to your office.
No, I haven't had a conversation, but we're there. Anything that people of Ontario need, I highly recommend. Don't go to Mexico. I highly recommended that before this happened, and just focus on getting home. Anything they need or the federal government needs, we're there for them to help them get out of there. But that's pretty unstable when you're taking out drug cartels and all of a sudden they're hitting back against tourists and everyone else. It's, in my opinion, it's not a stable country right now. Don't go there, and maybe pick an island somewhere or here in Canada to manage it.
Last one.
Multiple school boards have now written to the ombudsman asking for a review of potentially getting rid of trustees. Do you think that's something the ombudsman should be looking into? What do you think?
Well, that's up to the school boards. All I know, there's a lot of waste in school boards, and I talk to endless teachers. I just talked to one yesterday, and I just wanted to thank them for the great job the educators are doing and the teachers are doing. But I have yet to meet one teacher that likes school boards. Because how it works, folks, we give the school boards money, they distribute the money, and especially when you talk to, I was in one of those dollar stores the other day, and there's teachers buying pens and paper, and mostly under the 8th grade, and that's frustrating. We're putting an end to that. I know Minister Calandra is going to make an announcement, hopefully sooner than later, that each principal I hear gets $300. When I talk to the teachers, they're saying they don't even see it. So we're going to make that change, and it's going to be a very, very positive announcement for the frontline educators. And again, I always tell them, like, I wouldn't be able to do their job. They're under a lot of pressure in the classroom, but we're going to continue investing in our education system. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you, everyone. That's it.
All right, there you go. All right, we hope you'll leave your comments and your thoughts and whatnot. We will be back. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks for joining us this morning. Have a good one.